Von Hennig Gambit just completely destroyed Title Tuesday. I mean, that's going to be the title of the YouTube video, probably. And it's going to sound like clickbait. But it's really exactly what happened. We are playing a CM from Liechtenstein. That's a fun country. We're playing a Von Hennig Gambit. Let's go. Bishop f5, good choice. But you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. So the bishop came on the right side of this diagonal. If it didn't come there, then I would take that diagonal. Now it dodges rook takes f5 and knight takes f7 hits when that pawn is moving. But it does not dodge more sacrifices. Jim Gaines, yes. Thank you. We're trying. Today, it's a rest day for me. Because I'm here streaming. But yeah, it's fun to have the IQP. It allows you to attack. Happy New Year, Game Man. I finally caught you in a live session. I've learned more from your games analysis than any other, win or lose. That's so nice. Thank you so much. Very glad you're here. Yes, speaking of this position, so this knight on e6, it's a brutal knight. It's actually really brutal to deal with, right? It's so good. Like, there's never been a more annoying knight. It stops castling in both directions, right? You can't castle through that. I control those squares. It attacks the queen. This bishop cannot move anywhere. Imagine bishop d6 right now. I take g7. Queen takes g7, bishop takes f6, right? With the rook. Oh, that's going to be bad. I'll talk more about this later. So let's talk more about this line in a moment. Let's play knight h5. Ooh, this is going to be brutal. This is going to be brutal. Even against titled players, man, they just don't... There's no... What makes the Von Hennig so effective is there's no easy just way to deal with it, right? There's no just... A lot of gambits and a lot of, like tricky stuff you just kind of see on the internet. There's just, you know, oh, checkmate in 10 moves, whatever. It's just... You just need to know this one line. Or like this one move to not fall into the trap, and then you're much better. That's not the case for the Von Hennig Gambit. It's not the case for most of the gambits on my channel, honestly. And this is a situation where already I think black is losing. They've made one slip up. The best line is this queen sacrifice line. You might be asking why they can't take this knight. I'll talk about that in a moment. Let's go check. Oh man, goodness, I'm already getting this back. But I want to take with the rook. My queen is hanging now that there's no pin. Rook takes queen check. Rook f2. Okay, I mean, it's all winning. I like this. This seems fun. Bishop takes f6 would be very nice. I mean, this poor rook. This poor rook. Yeah, bishop takes f6, and then we can just kind of check around that. Queen d4, rook f2. Puts queen f7 on the table. Well, queen f7 is on the table. And queen e8. So they just recapture, and now this bishop is as much a monster as that knight was. Not only guarding d4, but I have no interest in taking this rook. Really, I'm more interested in just checkmating around it. Rook can come to e7. I think, honestly, right now, check, check. King e6, check. It's one of a number of ways to win. Honestly, even if I do nothing, I think there's no way to stop this. I think that's kind of how rough this is for them, but this is winning. Check here. Knight a6, good try, but these are developing just a little bit too late. A little bit too late as we use our last piece. And just need to get the king off the queen. Check here. Check here. Yeah, important we don't let the king run to c7. Oh, this is me. Nice. Okay, yeah, the king, we gotta be careful. Knight e4, the king could have run away, maybe. Okay, but even then, check. King's gotta stay on c8, and then we detether the rooks. And I would win that. Okay, let's talk about this opening. This was a fun one. that we got even a title player here. The 94 accuracy, that was probably mostly docked from, yeah, this mistake in the opening. Von Hennig Gambit. Knight of 6, f3. So, the idea here, that I've talked about a few times. Thank you guys. Yeah, very fun one. It's always really nice when you can use all your pieces. I've always found that just the most beautiful thing, just, you know, first game I saw as a kid was the Morphe Opera House game, where like that rook comes into the game and like everything comes into the game. So it's always just really pretty when just everything does its job just enough. Knight takes f3 here. We're already sacrificing this pawn, and the key to the Von Hennig Gambit that I've said a couple times is playing against this bishop. The bishop can't come to g4 because we have this move knight to e5, which is really, really nice. Attacking the bishop and threatening checkmate. So, takes mate. Bishop h5, we can take it anyway. Threatening again to take there for checkmate. And so if e6 they cover that up, we can take here. And okay, bishop e6 they can play, but then this is just really quite losing for black. Otherwise, they just play e6. I've also shown this on my channel a handful of times. If they just play e6 and jam that bishop in, then my queen's coming to h, so you can imagine something like this, queen h4. No pawn on f2. We sacrifice that. And it allows for this maneuver, right? And it also allows for this f-file to be open, so this isn't in the way. Playing against this knight, it's completely frozen, can't move because we're threatening mate. If you play h6, I have another diagonal that I'm using with this. So bishop takes h6 is just going to kill you, and then g5 comes. So then, what do? Okay, let's say you're just, I don't know, developing this bishop, right? Now I'm playing bishop g5, now I'm playing knight to e5, and I'm piling up on this knight, right? So now I'm going to take it, and checkmate you, right? Still no h6, and okay, in this position there's also no g6, because I'm going to take it here, and then take whatever is hanging this way. Or, like, even if I'm not winning right away, I'm just going to bring my rooks in, stack on the f-file, hit these targets, rook can come around. We're having lots of fun here. Queen e1, queen h4 maneuver is very strong if I control this diagonal. But they play bishop f5 right away. I can't really just do the same thing. What am I attacking? This bishop actually really defends everything. I don't have an h7 threat to begin with, and this knight can just actually move and just target my queen. So with the bishop on f5, the whole point is, so now we don't have this pawn, the rook can join the party. So e6 comes, and before black has a chance to castle, we're going after them with knight g5. Now, this is just known as kind of the refutation to play against this line. And it's what makes, you know, if you're just kind of playing, like, just any old gambit, you're just playing, like, f3 right now, like and you're just doing this, right? All you need to know, and why, like, a lot of top players just play bishop f5, all you need to know is put the bishop there, and then you're good for your castled king. If you're playing against, like, say, a Black Mardimer gambit or something, put the bishop there. Not that there's no compensation, but you're probably going to be fine. So the point of bishop c4 is we're putting enough pressure on f7 that we're going to make bishop f5 really hard. So we're playing knight g5 right now. Now, you actually saw earlier in Title Tuesday, one of my opponents actually just played bishop e7 and allowed rook takes f5 and we won this game. So the pressure comes now that this pawn is pinned. If h6, we can take it and take it. So we got our pawn back, and you know the king is doing very poorly. The only option for black is to play bishop g6, and it is the Stockfish recommendation. But now we keep coming after them with bishop takes e6. So pawn takes e6, knight takes e6, and the next move, people think a lot about whether queen d7 or queen d6. Especially, it's also really tough because your opponent has blitzed out a lot of moves against you. I only have one pawn for the piece. Regardless, we're playing bishop g5 right now. And yeah, like I was saying about this knight, so the point of bishop g5 is to indirectly defend this knight, right? So if you take here, I take here, and I needed to get rid of this knight because now when you recapture, I need no knight to e4. That is the point. I need no knight to e4. It would be controlled enough times against this. So rook now is pinning the queen. This is still a playable line for black. They can actually take, and because I've actually sacrificed enough stuff, but yeah, they need to know king d8, not king f7. King f7 is actually bad. Queen g3 comes, trying to get in there. This is really, really fun. King f7 seems much more natural than king d8. I actually remember I was discussing this line with Jeffrey Zhang at a tournament, and he played this out against me and played king to f7, just like right away. And I told him king d8 was the line, and he just, yeah, he said the same thing, that I would never think to play king d8, which is kind of interesting. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, I just want to get this analysis done before the game ends. Queen takes e6 is very playable, and honestly, I think it's a practical choice to just kind of sacrifice for a lot of the pieces that might checkmate you. in this line. It is an option here to maybe not recapture the bishop. Yeah, this is a top Stockfish choice, king d7. I'm going to try to maybe move this away and play d5. I'm just going to keep coming after you. I mean, like, this is a line I have a great success with because it's... No Caro Kann player ever wants to face something like this. Nobody knows it. You know, bishop f5 is just considered to be a refutation to this line. But with this bishop takes e6 sacrifice, I think it becomes really difficult to play, and it's not obvious exactly what the refutation is here. Okay, you need to know some more things. King c8, you need to, like, keep defending this position. It's not so easy to play. Like, there is a big Stockfish number, but I wouldn't really want to play this, especially in Blitz, where my opponent is prepared. And I think there's, you know, more theory there to explore. My opponent just plays bishop e7, which just allows knight takes g7 in the game. But, yeah, like I was saying, even if the queen defends, knight takes g7 is still strong in all these lines, and in fact is quite winning. To be able to do that, this knight is just such a dominant piece. And if you leave it there for even a second, okay, here comes queen e2, piling up here. You can't castle. You also can't use the e7 square as a blockade at all because of knight takes g7 check. So, like, queen d7, okay, but now the rook's coming to e1. You can't castle. You can never castle out of this. This knight is just such a brutal piece. That's why I think it's best to give your queen for it, honestly. Bishop e7 happened in the game, and now after takes, so this rook that's open as a result of sacrificing just this one pawn, which opens up the rook and opens up this diagonal that's brutal in these other lines. So here comes knight takes g7 and knight h5, which is a nice maneuver there on piling up on f6. Takes queen takes h5. King g7, we would have chased that king away regardless. King g8, rook takes f6. Okay, queen takes d4 check didn't really help. There matters much with queen f7 and queen e8 both being threats here right now. Okay, it's recommending queen takes f2 check. In the game, yeah, here comes bishop takes f6, and this bishop does a great job. Not really much to suggest. It's mate in 11, according to Mr. Fish. I missed a faster mate. I missed mate in 1. Find mate in 1 here. Queen g3, that would have been nice. With the pawn and knight forming a nice little screen and preventing that from getting away. Yeah, I mean, the issue in all these lines is that they don't have this stuff developed, right? They don't have these guys being able to join the fight. So yes, I'm down a piece, but it doesn't really feel like I'm down a piece because, you know, in terms of pieces that are doing stuff, I'm up a material. And so anyway, we got that nice little checkmate out of the von Hennig Gambit. In terms of my top recommendations for black, e takes f3 is what allows me to have all the fun. And there is this other line here with bishop to f5. In which case, we do more sacrifices anyway. Just want to make sure I'm going to get paired for the next round. And they don't give me a 0-point buy again. Next round starts soon. Okay. Bishop f5. Just trying to defend this pawn, right? Which is a good idea. It's not common. You know, people just think to take it, and then they can play bishop f5 next turn. So just trying to defend this pawn. What we do here is after takes, we have this nice move, bishop takes f7. Sacrificing and then playing queen to f3. So attacking here and attacking this bishop. And this can work out quite well because it's really not obvious what you would do if you're black, right? Almost like any move, like we're going to take this with check, and if you defend it, knight takes e4 comes. You know, you can take, but this is still some pretty nice compensation. Like this just comes out. I'm going to castle nicely. My rooks will come to the middle. I'm down one pawn. You know, okay. I'm seeing minus 0.5, but give me white every time in this position. The best move is knight d6, trying to get that knight out of the way and defend here. We're not going to go down a full piece, though, because we have g4 attacking here. And now the best move, which I've never faced, is e5. I don't think this has even been played in the whole Lee Chess database. He's played this move e5, which is just an outrageous move. The point is trying to play queen to h4 check, and then, because queen to h4 allows queen takes g4, right? I think much more natural is e6, which makes a lot more sense. Trying to play queen h4, which is still a good move. Here, what we can do is we can actually keep that going with this nice little maneuver, knight to h3, which has knight g5 ideas and knight to f2. Again, like everything I'm playing for black is like the top Stockfish choice. So like, let's say bishop e7. We can keep this pin going with something like bishop f4. So basically we're going to castle, we're going to bring our rooks here. Again, we're going to be down one pawn, because right now we're down a full piece. We're going to take this bishop at some moment, and then after recapture, we'll be down that one pawn that we just traded off for it. And, you know, I'm fine to play this. I'm very, very, very fine to risk this line, but it is what I would recommend for black. There's no way to really just altogether avoid the craziness other than maybe just pushing e3 here. But this is still a nice position. And something I really like to do in these lines is put this knight on f4, right? So, like, mostly this bishop's coming out. And if the bishop doesn't come out, okay, we can still do the queen e1, queen h4 maneuver. Put the knight on f4. I mean, it's an idea you've seen in a number of my other videos, is that now we play h4. Okay, somehow it's not working here. This is move knight d5. But let's say imagine knight d7. Okay, now we play h4. With the knight already pressuring this bishop, first of all, like, I'm trying to play queen d2 castles. Maybe white should have done that sooner, depending on the exact move order. But we play h4, threatening to trap this bishop on g6 with the knight on f4. Now we're trying to play h5. If they make this move now with this pawn, we take the bishop, right? Where there's no h takes g6. And so here, this is brutal. So this is already a very bad situation for black because they can't create a square for their bishop without severely weakening the g6 square, allowing the capture. Whereas if we just played h4 right away, then h6 to create a square, then knight f4, they can move out of the way, right? But when we already are hitting this bishop, then h4 can come, and this already really sucks for black. Otherwise, okay, I mean, nothing wrong with just starting out with queen d2 and castles and still having lots of fun in this line. That about covers the top things I've seen. Otherwise, like, I've seen some people just kind of go here and just allow me to take this. E5, what we can do is, I think we can just kind of play around this a little bit, knight f3, castles, and just play it a little bit like a fantasy variation of the Caro Kann. But yeah, fun stuff in the Caro, in the Von Hennig Gambit, entitled Tuesday. Subscribe if all this goes on YouTube. The only line I struggle is when my opponent gets NBD7 for another defender in the mix. Well, okay. I'm talking about this line, right? Maybe e6, knight bd7, something like this. It doesn't matter even if they have like 3 knights defending here. We're gonna force g6 at some moment to not get checkmated, right? Because when I can play, okay, like, let's say that, right? I just gave this example. I can already take d7 and take f6, and I haven't even started with bishop g5 yet, right? So here, if I just take, they're just able to replace that knight to keep defending h7. Really a good option for them, honestly, is knight to f8 to try to hold here, but I'm still just going to keep piling and piling and piling, and eventually I'll crash through, you know, with knight e4, if you give me enough time. Really, this bishop just being locked out of the game is really kind of brutal for black. This queen defends d4 very nicely against this as well. Yeah, so just one knight being able to replace here. Okay, it is defending mate, but I'm going to be able to add with knight to e5, trying to take this and take this and take this. So they don't have enough to do that. They need to play like g6 at some moment. And then, okay, I mean, there's already sacrifices working like this, you know, with that pin. You know, not even to mention all these other pieces that can join the fray. Always fun stuff if they're not getting the light square bishop out. Really, all that comes from is this diagonal and this diagonal, allowing the queen to come to h4. This knight is a very, very good defender. I mean, it's the defender of the castled king. It's the defender, right? A standard castle needs that knight on f6. Anyway, we won. Next game. FM from Spain. Oh my goodness, not another Von Hennig Gambit. Not another one. Not another one. No way. Oh, okay. Bishop f5. This is interesting. This is the top Stockfish choice, or it's one, or it is like the co-top Stockfish choice, but it does not let us get our typical Von Hennig stuff. So this is actually really fun to explore this line. Bishop f5 does not give us just the simple trade on f3 with knight takes f3 and all the Von Hennig ideas that we explored before. Now we'll get to show this line where we sacrifice on f7 and queen to f3. I like showing new stuff and exploring new stuff because this is brand new theory. It's not even theory. So every game explores the deep dark forest that is chess. And my opponent plays g6. So like I was saying that the top choice is very difficult to find. Do we play knight g3 or knight g5? Big question. I like knight g... Okay, well this is hanging, right? If I play knight g3, queen g4, Hmm. I like this. Because I feel like there's nothing obvious to do with the king. Potentially I had queen b3. It was an idea. This now feels very juicy. It feels like this should be good. I mean, how could you not? Oh, I have queen takes f5. What? Or no, I don't. Because queen takes g1. Okay, bishop d2. I was talking about an 86 check. Winning that. Now I still don't have it. Bishop c3 has to be good, though. I mean, castles has to be good. Everything has to be good here. Everything is good here. Bishop c3. I mean, you can't trade queens if you're black. Queen g4, because I can just take this and take your rook. So you need to stay on e5. Oh, I forgot about that as an option. Stupid. Let's play an e2. I forgot about that. Yeah, I should have just castled last turn. Okay, let's play pawn takes to keep the hit on this queen. Oh, now it's working. Now it's working. Yes. Yes! We did it. We did it. We did it. An 86 check with the fort coming. There's no queen takes g1 check to get a piece for your queen. Okay, you can get a pawn. Yes, we did it. Oh, and we're gonna fork him here. This knight keeps causing problems. We're gonna trap him in there. Oh, nice, 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 nice. Okay, we got a lot to review because I'm gonna bishop b4. Anyway, we gotta win this game. We got to win this game. Never celebrate too early. Should I do this? This seems like a practical choice. Is it practical or impractical? Probably practical. So we still have material, and we'll go with these guys. Keep the rook out of here would be good. Okay. Most practical would be to watch my clock. It's annoying. Alright, enough with dealing with their rook, with their stuff. I'm doing my stuff only now. Only my stuff. Enough with your stuff. You want that pawn, go for it. I'm only focused on me. Go. Go, go, go. Should be, yeah, I mean, should be simple enough. Should be simple enough. Run, run, run. King of... It's gonna check, and then I can move the rook once that is supported. In fact, I can just do that. And I will use my other pawn. There we go. No use defending when you can just go with your pawn. Yeah, I'm very interested in actually going over this line a little bit because this is kind of new ground a little bit in von Hennig theory. And yeah, my opponent's choice of g6 was interesting to me. Oh yeah, don't take that pawn, that would have been stalemate, right? Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. So, e4, c6, d4, d5 takes bishop c4. Von Hennig Gambit again. We got him. Thank you, thank you. Knight f6, appreciate you all. Bishop f5, and so we take and take f7. So, this is exciting stuff. And queen to f3. So I was just talking about this earlier. That the absolute top choice, well, it's knight d6 already, but you can already see, maybe, like, if I were to open Elite Chess in this position, just real quick, that this is not common. This line. Okay, it is the top choice here. Yeah, okay, e6. I mean, that is the most common continuation. My opponent here chose g6, but after knight takes e4, this is looking quite good because I recapture the piece as a whole. Knight g5 check. Okay, it's saying knight g3 was a little bit better. Oh no, it's actually evaluating this all equal. I don't want to be black here. I mean, they have an extra pawn, but, like, look at their king. Their one developed piece is pinned. Their queen is just ripe for being attacked, and all their other pieces are on the back rank. So this doesn't seem fun. I go check, and... Oh, already, wait, it was working? Oh, because I have this? This is crazy. You tend to think just, like, trading queens... By the way, let's explain what's happening here just for a second. So I take f5. If they recapture, I have knight to e6 check. And now I've won a bishop and a queen, and they've only won a queen, right? So that is winning material in that sense. I need to get rid of the bishop because it is controlling the e6 square. So as an intermezzo, they can sacrifice. And if I just recapture, now they've taken a knight, right? They've taken a knight and a queen. I've taken bishop and queen, so they're fine. And I don't want to trade queens. But it's saying this position is actually just so good. Even though the material, I'm actually still down a pawn, but their pieces are just so bad in their king. Like, knight e6 is coming, this bishop is coming to this diagonal. Or, like, I also have hits on f7. That even without queens, this is plus 2.7. Actually crazy stuff. I didn't realize that. I'm just like, trading queens is no. So bishop d2, I just kind of played instinctively. Bishop c3, I mean, just missing this move was kind of just inexcusable. g4 is winning. Somehow. Takes. And queen b3. Queen b3, what a nice resource. The queen can just do so much in chess. She shifts along here, hits b7, hits f7, right? That's a nice, just sheer power of the queen move. No, like, how are you guarding b7 in this position if you're black? How are you guarding this? I'm just going to take b7, take your rook, take everything, right? Because you don't have anything developed. Like, b6, okay, now I jump in here, and I'm going to checkmate you. King, and now the knight moves somewhere to kill you. I mean, wow. And this queen, okay, she has, like, a check. She has a check, but it's just one check, and now it's saying queen takes g5. I can just run my king to c1. So my king's actually safer in this line because they don't have enough pieces to come get me. Really, really nice stuff. g4 to distract, to allow, because queen b3 right now is no good. Queen d5, queen takes b7. Remember, they have a queen. And now it's saying, oh, they can develop? Hit my queen. Queen takes g2 comes. What a line. Attacking here, attacking here. Interesting theory. Okay. Bishop d2, e5. I think most natural would have just been castles. I think this just, like, kind of makes the most sense. And just what I should have played to just get my king to safety, just from a practical point of view. Sets up bishop c3 without bishop b4, causing me problems in this direction. Just keep getting these guys out. Bishop being on c3 seems good. Just, let's put the bishop on c3 with all these targets. You know, makes a lot of sense. I was just really excited about that, and I forgot about this nice resource by my opponent, bishop b4, which just is really nice for them. It develops a piece that was doing absolutely nothing and trades off for the best piece on the board. Nothing I can do about it. So knight e2 and pawn takes c3. I mean, that's what I did about it. So we're no longer castling long, probably. But okay, we're attacking this queen, and we're asking some questions about where to go, and they had the wrong answer with queen to c5. It allowed me to sacrifice here, and now queen on c5, like on d4, allows for that fork. They should have gone queen g4 or something like this, after which it's still a game after queen e3. But an interesting game in the top line, in my opinion, against the von Hennig Gambit. In Child Tuesday, gotta play the next game. Subscribe if that's on YouTube. No way. No way. It is Caro Kann day. It is Von Hennig Gambit day. Are you kidding? Okay, bishop f5 before knight f6. I don't think it changes anything. Stop it. Are they going to delay knight f6? That would be interesting. No, they play knight f6 anyway. Okay. What if they play bishop e7 and just delay knight f6? That would have been interesting. Same line! What's going on? Nobody's gotten the memo. Okay, maybe they've all gotten together and they've prepared an excellent refutation. I would love to see it. What? Queen d7, this is the same game I had earlier today. Knight. Just doing knight things. Just doing knight things. Oh, okay. This is a good line. So they take e6. We need to get rid of this f6 knight because, or else they were threatening to take this with rook e1, just knight e4, and I would just lose it, right? If they could just clog that file completely. That's the point of bishop g5, to get rid of this. Now they can take and sacrifice their queen, or they can try and get out of the way. They can try and get out of the way. They do with king d7. We actually just analyzed this line. This is all top Stockfish choices. Every move they've played actually has been Stockfish's top choice. I had thought d5 would be a good move here, but I remember I was just looking at this with the engine and it wasn't the top choice. So I was playing bishop h4. I don't know why d5 isn't the best. Okay, I think if they're continuing to play Stockfish choices, it would be here or here. At a6. I mean, d5 has to be it. It allows them to come here with check, which I don't love. Knight a6, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Queen d2, rook e1 makes sense to me as well. I mean, it's got to be d5, right? It just has to be. What else are you going to play? Okay, takes. Knight takes. Bishop d6. Let's get in the way somehow. I want that as an idea. Is that valid? Can I play, like, c4? Well, are they going to play, like, rook e8 and just run away? I should probably start off with something annoying, like rook e1. I want this in the game, but I don't want them to just play, like, here and run away. So this queen only has not many squares. f5? And then this seems soft. Seems soft here. I even have, like, knight e7. Can I play rook e7? Bishop takes, knight e3 check. Wait, this is working, yeah. What a move. Rook e7? Bishop e7? Anything can come to e7 right now. Anything to make that bishop move. Okay, rook e7. Seems fun. Even just king c8. They go there. Can I play c4 and queen a4? Seems like a good idea. Potentially. d4. You can't take me again. Knight takes e7 with the fork. I want here. That's like almost checkmate. This is really nice. I think they should have gone to c8. Knight c5. b4 I would play. b5. I can just checkmate them like that. This is really nice. Playing it. This is against an IM. Who again played all the top... these last two games, I faced Stockfish openings in the Von Hennig Gambit. And we're making this work. c4 and queen a4. This pawn does a great job holding this knight here. I mean, these pieces are killer. They are killer. It completely boxes in this king. Right, rook e7 check last turn, right? They couldn't take it. Knight takes. This was check, hitting the queen. Are you kidding? It didn't give them time to play rook e8 and the king to run away, but we're going to analyze this all with the engine. Let's stay focused on the game. Position in front of us. Queen a4, king c5, and bishop f2. Oh, that's a great move. Stops me from queen a4. Let's go here. That's got to be the choice. It's got to be the choice. Now knight just needs to move, like here, or something. Stop the queen from getting hit. Oh, knight b4 should have been played. Knight b4 would have just won. Now I have to deal with this. Rook takes. But this is still winning. I think. Yeah, I'm hitting them here. Let's just play knight d5. Okay, now we just gotta win this. Let's just... Okay, their king is fine. Gambit glass is off, material's equal. Their king is fine, I'm up a pawn. Let's just win this position. Up a pawn. What a weird turn of events, a little bit. Let's go there and try to get in with the rook. Can I eat more? Just keep taking things. I'm just gonna keep coming with the queen. I'm happy to trade even. Okay, it's fine. Don't get mated. I just wanted to get rid of that. Yum. Go, go, go. We did it. We did it. It was a very roundabout way of winning. But we got there. Wow, that guy was really high rated. Look how high rated he was. He just dropped to 2961. We went on a tear to close Title Tuesday. So we got a couple 0-point forfeits. And I think we just won our last 5 games in Title Tuesday. And capped by beating this almost 3,000 rated player in the top line of the Von Hennig Gambit. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? What just happened, guys? What a turn of events. It was going terribly. I went to grab a couple caffeine pills. It just changed everything. God bless the Von Hennig Gambit. God bless the Gambit glasses. What a game against I am Scarabee. Scarabee. Enchanté. Sacre bleu. Von Hennig Gambit. So takes bishop c4. Oh my goodness, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What a game. Let's go. I am pumped. Let's go. Okay, let's have a look at this. Bishop f5. Another Von Hennig Gambit. Another Von Hennig Gambit. He plays knight to f6, knight to g5. We've had this position. I've talked about this same position on stream a few times. It would have been interesting to me if he played like bishop e7 with no, but now knight e5, and this is even more brutal. I would go knight e5 instead of knight g5, and now we're targeting f7. Bishop g6 is not a comfortable option the same way. I guess I have some pressure there maybe. And I'm still threatening rook takes and bishop takes f7. So, fun stuff. Knight f6, knight g5. I can't even contain myself right now. Bishop g6. We take on e6. Let's sacrifice. Okay, there's one more thing to talk about, which is h6, which is this other line that no one ever plays, because everyone just recaptures right there. But h6, targeting this knight right here. So if the knight moves, they can recapture. But all we need to do is actually sacrifice It'll be the next thing. I just need to speak it into existence, and I'll get this again. This is the fun idea. We put our bishop on e5. We just stack on the e line. Boom, 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 boom. Wow. Title Tuesday of Von Hennig Gambit, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. They take here, knight takes e6, queen d7, bishop g5. Same line. Same line. So my last opponent just played bishop e7 and allowed me to play knight takes g7. But this guy is 3,000 on chess.com. He is 3,000 on chess.com. So that was not to happen. He plays queen takes e6, which is just the top engine line. Bishop takes f6, king d7. Another top Stockfish choice. Very, very precise. Plays 12 great moves. This is move 12. Getting out of the way of this e-line, right? Absolutely necessary. So we come out of the way with bishop h4. d5 is playable, to be clear. Idea was to be here, check. Takes, knight takes. Can play king c8. Okay, they can hang on like this. I play bishop h4 first. Now the top Stockfish choice is to play king c8. My opponent plays knight a6. Cannot blame them. That makes a lot of sense, but it's apparently a huge blunder. That's crazy. Guys, this is why we play these lines. My opponent has rattled off 12 excellent moves in a row to nurse this small advantage. It's not small. It's actually minus 1.39 if they play king c8, although that's shifting down as we speak. But to nurse the small advantage, they play one natural-looking move like knight to a6. Like, why wouldn't you develop this knight to get these guys out? Now after d5, it's +2. And a completely impractical position for black to defend as long as we keep the pressure up, which we did. d5, coming after them, takes, knight takes d5. Apparently it's better to start with rook e1. Interesting. Better start with rook e1. By the way, that was the last game of Title Tuesday, and we got 7 out of 11. Wait. Look at that. Last 5 games we won. Last 5 games we won. After that horrendous start, where I also had a 0-point buy. So, not a bad Title Tuesday for your boy, the Gambit man. d5, c takes d5, knight takes d5, and bishop to d6. So bishop d6 makes a lot of sense. It says better to play king c8. I understand bishop d6 very much, because if I'm black here, right, I'm probably just having one focus, and it's probably that's probably their focus back when they play knight a6. It's to play rook e8 and to play king c8. But what black needs to realize is they don't actually have the luxury of time to play rook e8 and king c8. You need to play king c8 and just jam your rook in and just kind of deal with it. If you can play rook e8 and king c8, then maybe you can orchestrate a castle, and obviously, you know, that's the goal. It makes a huge difference, actually, to get that rook out. But the issue for black is they just don't have the time. So bishop d6, they're still keeping their dream alive, right? Here, they should probably bite the bullet and just put that king on c8, after which there's already sacrifices like here and knight e7 check. Are you kidding? King out. Check. Here. Here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So, knight e7 check. Wow. Should just bite the bullet, because now they're playing bishop d6, so they're still trying to arrange rook out and king c8. Can they do it? No. And this is another really, really important move. There's one good move here. Mr. Matt Bader with the $10 donation. Great to have the stream back. Hope you were able to get a chance to go to the championship. I was there. At the World Rapid and Blitz. So, as a volunteer, not as a player. But it was really cool to be there. Bishop to d6. Thank you so much for the donation. Very, very kind. Bishop d6. We need to keep the pressure up. If we play one normal looking move like here, I was strongly considering c4, because if I could play queen to a4 check next, that's actually really strong. There's nothing easy to do with this, and then maybe b4, c5. Okay, I have some ideas like this to try and dislodge all these pieces. But rook e8 right now, and the king would be able to run away to c8 after queen a4. So we need to continue to keep the pressure up as much as possible, and that's why we play your rook e1, not giving them a chance to move the rook. And here, queen f5, which is by far, I mean, okay, it's saying bishop takes c2. I mean, that's just really quite, well, okay, it's actually an interesting move. I would never think to consider this. Queen takes, you can take the knight. So queen d4. It's still very, very good for white, because just this position is very good for white. With all these pieces coming after this poor little black king, and you know all of black's pieces very discoordinated. The bishop is the only thing that stands in the way of like all this firepower in this king, but this bishop is one that can really be attacked, overloaded. Like let's say a move like bishop to e7 right now doesn't seem very fun if you're the second player here. Rook to c1 can come in. So queen to f5. Rook e7 was not the best. Brutal. Decreases my advantage. Knight to e7 was the best. It just felt a little, like, I was considering this. It felt a little weird to put the knight here. I understand, like, it unveils this pin.
Because there was also queen c5. It comes with check, but I have this move that continues to keep the tempo mine, right? I can't give the tempo back to them. It just shifts the eval bar. You can see how much that eval bar shifts just to give the tempo back to black.
Every move matters so much here, because if the dust settles and I have not severely damaged this black king, then I'm down a piece, right? Basically, I'm up material inactivity. I'm up in activity right now. But if I give them even just like one move, then they're okay. So everything matters so much right now. It's super, super sharp. The move value is super high. It's not just like, oh, like we're both castled, you know, equal material, equal position. Doesn't really matter whether you play a best move or a second best move. Everything here matters a lot. As you can see, has been happening. With queen to f5, I play a rook e7, which is a very spicy move. My opponent just needed to play king c8. And they really, really did not want to put the king here blocking in their rook, as has kind of been a theme throughout this game. But they had no choice. They really wanted to be able to play king c6 and get this rook out and keep that dream alive. King c8 was necessary. Well, so actually, wait, let's talk more about an e7. I guess the idea here is like here, bishop f2, queen moves. Queen moves anywhere, and then we just play bishop g3. We just keep at this pin. Yeah? Just keep at this pin. How do you defend this bishop? It's brutal. You need a rook d8 and king c7 in one turn. You don't have that luxury. Okay, well, what if they kind of try to repeat? It's saying just here, attack this. King c7? h4? What makes more sense to me, yeah, is to move like check, try and jam the king in there against that rook. Yeah, and now just activate all your pieces. Takes, because you can just, like when the king's jammed in, you can just checkmate them like that, which is kind of funny. So, yeah, interesting lines. I really like this. So knight to e7, unveiling the pin right away and putting pressure made the most sense. I went with rook e7. So if they take it, knight takes, check, hitting the queen, and we're winning here, just picking up the queen. It's always going to be good. It's always going to be good. You know, there's never really going to be a situation where they're going to have enough. Even here, like, okay, they have a rook and a knight. Even if I, like, didn't have this bishop, this would still be good. It's just nice to have the queen against an exposed king. Like, so if I didn't have this bishop, technically that's enough material, like a rook, bishop, and knight. But it's always going to be good to have the queen just against an exposed king. So any line where they sacrifice their queen, it's not going to be great for them unless they can get that king to safety. So, you know, always going for the queen and such, you know, if you know, there's some complications, just targeting the enemy queen is generally going to work out for the attacking player. If a 2500 FIDE can't defend, he's 2500 FIDE? That's cool. We can play this up to at least Grandmaster level. Yeah, why not? Von Hennig Gambit, playable at absolutely any level. So king to c6 was played. Yeah, king to c8 had to be played. I mean, king c6 was really ambitious, really trying to get that rook out. And if they could play king c6 and rook e8 in one move, it would make sense, but they can't. It's my move after king c6, but let's talk about here. So king c8, I understand why you don't want to do this, because it's like, it's not even obvious what your next move is if you're black right now. Maybe you can get this rook here. It's not obvious what your next move is. Like what's your long-term vision now for untangling this position? You still can't take this rook, right? Knight takes e7 is check. Like, how do you untangle yourself here if you're black? It's tough. Like, if I just kind of go here and here, it seems a little sensible. Like, for example, the second choice in the engine is just king h1. Just getting out of the way of it here and just being like, okay, deal with it. And I understand why I would, you know, not want to play this with black. It just seems really uncomfortable. Yes, you're up a piece. King h1 is brilliant. But, okay, this was the top choice. Trying to swap off for this guy. Takes, h takes. That was an important defender. Now, like, the queen can come to c3 or something like this. It seems really tough. I really understand why you wouldn't want to play this at all. It was kind of like my game earlier where, you know, I played that Sicilian idea of just take, you know, just sacrificing a piece, but just kind of having an attack and, you know, having kind of an indefensible position. One where, you know, if you're the defending player, you want at least a path to be able to untangle yourself, right? A goal, whether that's trading queens or, like, just getting this piece over here to solidify your position. Black doesn't have a clear path to solidifying your position. Like, you're going to have to keep defending. You know, everything is kind of, like, loose and discoordinated a little bit. Like, these pieces are just not good. So, I get it. But this was a situation where you just had to not lose immediately. And king c6 is just losing immediately. Now, it's not clear that I was losing immediately. It's the kind of +4 where, you know, if I don't make the right next move, I'm, right, you see here, +4, then there's one other good move, and then it becomes -3. So, it's not, like, +4 in the sense that you're just, like, up a ruck. That's a very different kind of +4, where you can just make any move. It's still super sharp, and it's obviously not obvious to me or my opponent that the game is lost. But c4 here is a really nice resource, and I'm actually really proud of this move, because it was completely necessary. I think this is the best move of the game. It's not always, you know, it's funny here. Rook e7 is like a really flashy move. It's like, oh wow, rook lands on e7. It wasn't even the best. Takes knight takes e7 check, right? Really flashy. It's not always the queen sacrifice that's going to be the most important move of the game. It can be like attacking isn't all that. It's not all queens and rooks. I mean, sometimes it's moves like this. And this is really important, talking about the power of the queen. The queen has no route to get into the game other than, because like this queen is guarding, for example, roots on f3, coming into d5. The route for the queen to get to this king, and to get to any king, you really do need the queen, right? So, you know, you got to look to her when the other pieces have done as much as they can. Okay, I'm not interested in this pawn right now. The route to get into the game is this a4 square, right? And that's what we had to realize, that, you know, you need to be able to attack from all angles. And c4 is another very important move, just also solidifying this knight in the middle of the board, right? The huge difference between c4 and c3 in that, you know, I'm going to keep that knight right there. And yeah, queen a4 check. This king has really nowhere to go other than up to c5 and then bishop f2 or queen b5. Just is the nail in the coffin. Knight c5. I have b4, I think. Yeah, I do have b4. And yeah, they as I was saying, the rook and the knight encase this king really, really well. And suddenly, yeah, the queen is popping out on a4. So queen c2 was played, but it gave me the f3 square, right? I obviously have no interest in trading queens, trying to attack the enemy king, and also down material. So the queen comes to c2, that's the only defense. But now I come out to f3, and I'm heading it the other way with the queen no longer on f5. So rook to f8, yeah, okay. I played knight to f6, knight b4. I said it right after I played knight f6, I think, when I was live. Knight b4 here is double check. Double check is always the way to go. You have to move the king on double check. You can't move anything else. Okay, and then when the king moves, I have like moves like queen takes b7, or here like yeah, queen d5 and check. Ooh, don't mouse slip it. And checkmate. So knight b4 would have been the way to go. I went with knight f6. Like as soon as I saw it, you know, I didn't look for a better move, but it just blocked this. But it keeps them alive. Like they don't have to move the king and just allow queen takes b7, because they can play bishop e4 and get in the way. So rook takes e4 and king c7. They are able to hang on in this line. Oh, rook d4. How can I leave this hanging? It just keep sacrificing things and it works. Okay. Well, I played knight d5 check, and here I was just like, okay, I'll just win this up a pawn. And that's kind of what happened. So now we're in a very different kind of position where finally they achieve their big dream of rook over and king here, but it came at the cost of a piece. And it was a piece for a pawn, and I took the piece whole. And so now we're winning. I was able to play b3, solidify the structure with the beautiful knight on the end of that structure, just chilling in the middle of the board. Outpost there, cannot be touched, doesn't have to move for the rest of the game if it doesn't want to. I control this file, which does a great job, and I swap off for this bishop to allow me to invade on that file. Let's eat some pawns. This, I think, was just a pretty practical way of playing. Now I'm up material. In terms of a couple of pawns, I'm happy to trade queens, invade, eat some pawns, don't get checkmated, played h3. Okay, they took that, and now I'm like, okay, there's another defender in my way, just like how I did with that bishop. So now I was like, that guy's in my way. Okay, maybe it makes more sense to just push this h-pawn, but I wanted to get rid of that knight, and now eat this b7 pawn, and I was able to do that. Take there, take there. Now I'm just up several pawns, defend g2. King is safe right here. Go pawn, go, 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 and okay, we made it. We made it to the end somehow, some way. We did it. Guys, Von Hennig Gambit for life. Like, honestly, as soon as I keep saying things to recommend, I think my last recommendation that hasn't been played against me yet. Yeah, it would be this. What would I even say? I'm trying. Just don't play the Caro Kann. I would play this h6 line. it never happens. Let me check lead chess real quick. Wow, this Von Hennig Gambit just completely destroyed Title Tuesday. I mean, that's gonna be the title of the YouTube video probably, and it's gonna sound like clickbait, but it's really exactly what happened. So H6, 2% of games here. Oops. Let's see here. H6, 2% of games right there. Even though it's the top engine choice, it's not the top engine choice by a lot. It's not the top choice by a lot. Yeah, I think that's what I would recommend, but you're still having to defend this. Like I remember my idea is I'm playing bishop on e5. Let me see my score here. I mean, my score in this line, I mean, it's actually just crazy. Look at this. F takes e6. 86%. Like, this just scores so high, even though it's technically -1. Yeah, so I faced one h6. But yeah, you just keep that sacrifices going. Bishop comes to e5. I mean, everything comes into the game pretty nicely. You still have to defend this. There's no just easy way out. You know, like I think that's what separates this from many other gambits. Even just like, say, the Danish gambit is just kind of like a situation where, you know, you can just teach someone just to play like this d5 line, for example. I don't know, just this d5 line and just this variation where, okay, you have equality and there's nothing white can do about it. You know, I don't like there just being a simple refutation, or even just this d5 line. I mean, it's honestly pretty equalizing, and there's, again, nothing really special white can do about it. Yes, I mean, we've all seen the very nice wins in this line where if black plays knight c6 and if black does what you want them to do, but, you know, I really like this stuff where there's nothing obvious that your opponent can do, and we're going to be attacking in all cases. So, long live the Von Hennig Gambit. Subscribe if this all goes on YouTube. GCRU, baby. Gambit, Chads, rise up. I need more clickbait for my own good. Drop what you think the title of this video should be. I like to, you know, just, I don't know. I don't do this for clicks. You know, I do this because I really enjoy kind of coming up with new ideas, new openings, new content, and exploring that. I love chess, and I love kind of contributing to the game and the vastness of potential for new lines and new opening theory. Appreciate y'all. Marco Materia is U16. Wait, so this guy that I just played? First of all, his peak blitz is over 3,000. Marco Materia. This guy is, wow, good at chess. Almost a GM. Has he been over? No. But his birth year is 2009. I mean, this guy might be one of the, like, the better under 16 players. I mean, well, there are 16-year-olds who are GMs. But yeah, crazy. He's good. He is good. I hope he becomes world champion one day, and then and then I can say this: Vive la France. And then I can say I got him.
William Grave, the Gambit man, takes his seat at the board. E4. E5. Knight F3. Bishop C5. The Bushgas Gambit on the board. On with the Gambit classes. Hero pod unlocked.